What is up, everybody? Brian Zane here with my review of this past weekend's Royal Rumble PLE. It was the end of what Triple H in the post-show press conference said was an amazing week. Yes, an amazing week if you are a TKO executive who loves money and cares about literally nothing else. But we will get to that certainly once we reach that chapter in the story here. Speaking of stories, people are hoping to finish their stories, and the path to that continues here on this show. The show's taking place at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is the home of the Thunderdome, which, God, what a bygone era that feels like. It feels like 100 years ago that we had the Thunderdome, and it's going to be a weird homecoming for the wrestlers who are operating in that substructure in this greater building. There's a lot of history there. Also very interesting footage of the wrestlers arriving to the arena, very much like NFL and NBA games and how they begin. I think it's a very cool change in setup here. Nature is definitely healing with Kevin Dunn gone from production. Got the hometown boy Hulk Hogan narrating the opening package, Clearwater, Florida, brother. It's very fitting that on the first PLE after Vince McMahon is like gone, the very first face you see is another controversial figure of wrestling's past, Hulk Hogan. You know, you can't escape it. The show opens up with Pat McAfee joining the announce desk, so he's going to be with Michael Cole and a very disgruntled Corey Graves. And the show officially opens up with the Women's Royal Rumble match. At number 1, it's Natalya. At number 2, it's a returning Naomi. Hell yeah, feeling the glow. Last time we saw Naomi in WWE, of course, was in 2022. She and Sasha Banks walked out when they were tag team champions. It's great to see her back here. We don't get Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks, whatever, coming back on this Rumble, but we do get Naomi. She has her name dyed into her hair. That was pretty neat. Also, they mentioned on commentary that, hey, she won the TNA Knockouts World Championship before coming back here. And that blew my mind, that they were so like, wow, yep, their name of the company, it's right there. There's the history. Because, yeah, she was literally just on TNA last week fighting Jordan Grace in a pair of matches for the championship. Folks, this is a very busy countdown graphic sponsored by C4. At number 3, it's Bayley. At one point on commentary, Cole says she calls it the rear view. He did the thing. At number 4, it's Candice LeRae. Number 5, Jordan Grace, the current TNA Knockouts champion. Holy shit, what world are we living in here? I mean, I thought it was shocking enough that they mentioned the TNA Knockouts title just when Naomi showed up. But for the actual champion from a different company to show up here, I mean, this is crazy to me. I mean, you know, a couple years ago or 1 year ago, Mickie James appeared in the Women's Rumble as the Knockouts champion. I thought that was kind of a big deal. But the difference is Mickie James has a history in WWE. Jordan Grace, which is not known in WWE, never performed for them, but a huge pop for her when she showed up. I think that was really amazing. I'm so glad that I was not spoiled on this because I started watching the Rumble later in the evening and I deleted like the social media apps off my phone because I did not want to get spoiled. I'm really glad that I had like a genuine reaction to this. In fact, I popped so loud for it, I actually woke my kid up down the hall. At number 6, keeping things grounded with Indy Hartwell, we get a lovely reunion with the former tag champs. I miss the way. Number 7 is Asuka, one half of the new women's tag champs as of Friday night. Hartwell's gone. Number 8, Ivy Nile, who's almost looking into the mirror across from Grace. Number 9, Katana Chance. Number 10, Bianca Belair. Nice double blockbuster. At number 11, Kairi Sane, the other half of the tag champs. Now 3 members of Damage Control there. Candice is out. Number 12, Tegan Nox. She and Natalya have a moment in the ring. Natty goes to throw her out, but Nox gets her instead. Then Bayley throws Tegan out. At number 13, it's Caden Carter. Suddenly Kairi's dumped out, tries very hard to Spider-Man on the apron. Why can't you just go on one foot? The rule is that both feet have to hit. Just put one foot down, lady. She does go down, followed by Asuka. At number 14, it's Chelsea Green, breaking her previous best time of 5 seconds. We get a KOD on the apron from Belair to Jordan Grace, and she's out. You know, if you're going to eliminate the other company's champion on pay-per-view, you might as well do it big. At number 15, Piper Niven, who saves Chelsea from elimination. At this point, they start showing running timers in the corner, which I think is very cool. That's a very like sports-based presentation, something we never saw in the previous regime of, you know, McMahon or Dunn or whatever. The fact that, you know, they have these here, that's really cool because, you know, people want to know that sort of thing. I thought it was a really cool stat they threw up. At number 16, Xia Li. Number 17, Zelina Vega, each with entrance props that could easily put an eye out. Number 18, the heavily improved, as they say, Maxine Dupree. Her opening run with Bayley is a little rough, though. A very convoluted setup for an assisted code red to Niven. Niven takes out Carter. At number 19, it's Nia Jax. And at this point, I'm like, did everyone get a memo that they had to wear blue on this show? I think more than half of the women in this matchup are wearing like a very similar shade of blue, and I'm not sure it's because maybe the Tampa Bay Rays who play in that stadium, like that is one of their colors. Maybe that was it. But then like some of the other ladies are wearing a very bright like cherry red as well. So if you're not paying attention, it almost feels like you're watching like a SmackDown versus Raw Royal Rumble. Nia eliminates Xia Li and Ivy Nile. Chelsea getting repeatedly smooshed in the corner and in the ring by Jax and Niven. Nia with a very bad looking slam on Piper here. At number 20, it's Shotzi. Everyone getting their shit in on Nia. Everyone goes to eliminate her, but they can't. Dupree is out. Chelsea and Piper are both out. Katana Chance out next. At number 21, it's Becky Lynch. She and Nia go right for each other given the history. Apparently Chelsea was not eliminated, so then she goes out here. At number 22, it's Alba Fire. Number 23, the Bays, Shayna Baszler. Number 24 is Valhalla, who has the antlers on. Cole's going nuts for them. Then suddenly R-Truth shows up. He gets in the ring. He's very mistaken as usual. He's thrown out, and while that's going on, Valhalla is eliminated in 5 seconds. She blames R-Truth, but that is not the last we see of him on this night. At number 25 is Michin. Alba Fire is out. Number 26, Zoe Stark. Vega going for a Hurricane Rana, but Baszler just throws her out onto the floor into fire. Number 27 is Roxanne Perez, who spins around a lot. Jax dumps Baszler out of the ring, then takes out Michin. She powerbombs Shotzi out of the ring. My word. Number 28, Jade Cargill, finally making her in-ring debut, coming out to a theme somewhat similar to what she had in AEW. It's close enough. She and Nia fight, Jade taking Nia off her feet twice and eliminating Jax. What a hell of an opening statement for Jade here. Number 29, the former NXT Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, making her Rumble debut. Number 30, a bit of a surprise here, is Liv Morgan, back for the first time in months since her shoulder injury. She takes out Stark. Roxanne is eliminated. We get a shot of the women's champions looking on at the finalists here. A big face-off with Cargill and Belair, teased for a moment. The crowd seems to dig it. Jade eliminates Becky and Naomi in one fell swoop. Oh my God. Stratton hanging on by Bianca's braid. Bayley boots them both out. We're down to Jade, Morgan, and Bayley. Bayley taking her own bump over the top rope. She and Liv work to eliminate Jade, but she fights it. There's an oblivion to Jade off the apron. Then Bayley immediately knocks out Liv to win the Rumble match. I give it 4 stars out of 5. Now look, watching this match back, it is clunky as hell at certain points in this thing. I'm not gonna lie, but in terms of sheer like moments and surprises and, returns, what have you, and just in terms of the overall fun that is kind of expected of Rumble matches, I had a lot of fun watching this matchup. I think this was the best women's Rumble match they've had since the first one in 2018. I think it was overall that good. I think that Bayley, very deserving of her win. I'm really curious to see where this story between her and, assumedly, Io Sky and the rest of Damage Control is going to go from here. That makes, I think, for a very interesting story going into WrestleMania. A fatal 4-way match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship next as Roman Reigns defends against AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Los Angeles Knight. This matchup here begins with the other 3 contenders all kind of beating up on Roman at the same time, trying to take out the big dog, so to speak. They're taking turns like slamming each other into the announce table on the outside at one point. My favorite part of this match actually is early on when Orton's doing the Garvin stomps to Roman, and you can see Paul Heyman on the outside selling each one, every body part. Ooh, ah, ee. I love that stuff. Roman and LA spending a lot of time working each other in this matchup here. Knight with the BFT on Roman, AJ falling into them. AJ hits the Styles Clash on Roman, and Knight breaks that up. Orton with many RKOs, one to Styles, one to Knight, one to Roman. He's got the match won, but what a shock. Solo Sikoa makes the save. Second verse, same as the first. Goes to charge AJ in the barricade, but just blows it down by himself. Knight and Orton are stacked atop each other at one point. Styles hits the phenomenal forearm on Reigns, who falls onto the other 2. He covers all 3 guys at once and we get a kick out. AJ bringing in a chair and beating up Roman with it for a bit. Roman's able to recover enough to hit a spear on Orton. Knight's got a chance, but he's pushed into the ropes. AJ tumbles. Superman punch to LA. Spear to AJ. The cover. Roman wins and retains. I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5. I mean, it's a fun match, but it's also a foregone conclusion. I think Solo Sikoa always being the factor to help Roman Reigns win. It just gets repetitive, throughout the years we've been seeing this. But, as Michael Cole says after the match, complaining about it apparently doesn't matter. For the U.S. Championship, Logan Paul defends against Kevin Owens. Come on, let's get that jingle back, baby. Early on, KO flicks what looks to be somebody's GoPro off the barricade. Logan slamming Owens' hand into the ring post, hitting that cross-moon combo in the ring, continues working the hand. Graves at one point calling Owens a one-armed bandit, which I think would be a more appropriate thing to say if they were in, say, Las Vegas or Atlantic City. But, so you're calling him a slot machine? Like, what? Frog splash by Owens and a kick out. More back and forth. A top rope brainbuster, which Logan's able to survive. Logan hits his knockout right hand, but Owens is still able to kick out, and Paul is in shock. In comes, Jeff? I think they said his name was. He hops the railing and security stopping him. I'm sorry, I don't know who this guy is. They say he's part of his entourage. I think he's on his show. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody back me up on this. Anyway, as that's happening and security takes all day to try and get him to leave, suddenly we see Grayson Waller and Austin Theory showing up, adding to the chaos. Theory slipping brass knuckles to Paul, but Kevin grabs them from him. He lays them out with them, but just before the 3 count, the referee catches it and DQs Kevin. Logan retains. Kevin's not done, however. Owens jumping Logan after the match, powerbombing him through the table, which is hilarious to me since that table was slammed into like 4 times the previous match and it held up fine. This one gets 3.5 stars out of 5 for me. I think it was a fine match. I like the story that they told here, and what a gut punch of a finish, by the way. It's like frustrating, but you also have to respect it because, man, everyone bid on that one and it looked like it was about to go down as Kevin winning and everything. So I don't know if this is going to lead to something else between the two of them after this. Owens beating Logan up after the fact seems to suggest to me that they might, but I don't know. I think, again, Logan showing out, having a good performance, and I think with Kevin Owens, I think, he can work well with just about anybody, and I think, the match really reflected that. I'm disappointed that Kevin Owens did not win, but don't worry because his jingle will live on forever. America, 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 America. And now it's time for the main event. Wow, a pay-per-view with only 4 matches. It's kind of nice. It's the men's Royal Rumble match, beginning with number 1, Jey Uso, and at number 2, Jimmy Uso. Wow, the brothers facing off. I thought that was a really cool way to start things off. By the way, I get what they're doing with the dueling merchandise. Like Jay's got the Yeet shirt and Jimmy's got like the red Yeet shirt with the word no scribbled over it. But every time I read that, it looks like it says like, why not? Number 3, Grayson Waller, who's talking trash on his way to the ring. Number 4, Andrade's back in WWE. He is fresh off his time doing nothing much of substance in AEW, but hopefully he'll find a better home here. Number 5 is Carmelo Hayes. He takes out Waller. Number 6, Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 7, Santos Escobar. Tries to do a little olive branch with Andrade, but that's short-lived. Number 8 is Karrion Kross, who recently formed the Final Testament with the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering returning as well. Is it me, or is that name just a little too close to the Judgment Day, the Final Testament? It's like, I don't know. They both seem kind of biblical to me and very samey. Number 9, Tom and Nick Mysterio. Number 10, Carlito, who produces an apple from his pants and takes a bite, spits in Santos' face and eliminates him. At number 11, Bobby Lashley, who spears a whole bunch of people. He eliminates Carlito and Karrion Kross, but in come the AOP. We get a big 6-man brawl basically on the outside now that Lashley's been eliminated. It's Kross and his guys versus Lashley and the Street Profits. They fight their way to the back. Number 12 is Ludwig Kaiser. Number 13, Austin Theory. Number 14 is Finn Balor. Carmelo Hayes is eliminated. Number 15, he's here to finish his Cody. It's Story Rhodes. Number 16, Bronson Reed, who eliminates Andrade. Number 17 is Kofi Kingston. Cody with a ropes-assisted crossroads, which takes out Shinsuke. Kingston taking out Kaiser. Gunther comes in at number 18. He chops everyone down, body slamming Reed. He eliminates Kingston, who doesn't even get a chance to make a save. Number 19 is Ivar. Number 20 is Braun Breaker, who is a house of fire from the get-go, eliminating Jimmy Uso and Finn Balor. Number 21 is Omos. He takes out Bronson Reed. Breaker spearing Ivar in midair and throwing him out. Number 22, Pat McAfee, pulling double duty here. He gets into the ring, realizes he's made a huge mistake, and eliminates himself. Shades of Drew Carey. Breaker taking out Omos. Dominic taking out Breaker. And then at number 23 is J.D. McDonough, who takes a spear from Braun on the outside. Number 24 is R-Truth, who throws his good buddy J.D. into the ring, who immediately is thrown out. He gets the first ever hot tag in a Rumble match and does some of the Cena comeback on Gunther. This was the highlight of the entire match for me. Number 25, The Miz shows up and we get an awesome Truth reunion. Number 26 is Damian Priest, who eliminates his honorary stablemate R-Truth. At lucky number 27, CM Punk, 10 years to the day where he walked out of WWE. What a full circle moment this could be. He throws Dominic out of the ring. Number 28 is Rico Chet. Miz eliminated by Gunther. At number 29, Drew McIntyre. Jay tries to eliminate Gunther, but it is he who was taken out. He was in there for the longest time at 50 plus minutes. At number 30, the returning Sami Zayn. Drew flips Rico backwards over the top rope into the outside. Sami eliminates Priest. Drew eliminates Sami. Rhodes, Punk, McIntyre, and Gunther are the final four. We get a quiet CM Punk chant. Matter of fact, the crowd on this whole show to me felt really crappy. I don't know if it was the mixing or something or the acoustics in the building, but man, except for maybe a couple of points where you could really hear an audible pop for truly some of the big surprises, like kind of a dead crowd here. Maybe I'm wrong. I was listening on my TV, not on like a projector or a computer where like the speakers might be a little compromised. I was hearing it the way God intended in broadcast mode, so it still sounded quiet to me. Can anyone else kind of confirm this? Drew with many claymores, he grabs Punk and's all like, "Your ass belongs to me now. I'm Drew McIntyre." But Punk throws him out. Cody eliminates Gunther again, and we're down to 2. Punk with the Germans, and Punk is gassed here, man. He was sucking wind by number 30, honestly. Cody fights to hit that crossroads after a few attempts. Punk hits the GTS, but Punk just keeps looking at that big, bright sign. It is a natural distraction. Punk's got a better pedigree than Cody, it turns out. He says he didn't wait 10 years to lose to Dusty's Kid, only for him to immediately lose to Dusty's Kid. Cody wins 2 Royal Rumbles in a row, and there is no drama, no wait, no mystery. Cody making it clear he's coming for Roman Reigns and his championship once more. I give it 4 stars out of 5. I think that even though this match was technically cleaner and less botchy than the women's matchup, I give the edge to the women's Rumble because, again, of that surprise factor. I think that the men's Rumble was certainly more cohesive at times and had, a more dramatic ending. But again, it's a very big imbalance. When the women's Rumble has all these fun moments and then the men's doesn't, and your biggest, reaction moment or your surprise moment is R-Truth doing a goofy hot tag moment, I think that's a bit disappointing. We as fans have been programmed to expect surprises in the Rumbles. They have been telling us this for literal decades at this point. And so when it doesn't happen, fans can feel a little disappointed. I'm very shocked that Cody actually won this one. I was dead certain that Punk was going to win it. And I don't know if they changed their mind or what, but man, if you just watch CM Punk in this matchup, he is not in ring shape. I don't know what happened. He was not this out of breath during the dog collar match with MJF, for instance. Maybe it's because, it's been a while since he's wrestled regularly. He has gotten bigger since he left AEW, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not going to knock on him too much for that, but it's it's kind of crazy when he's getting, kind of outclassed in there by other people who had wrestled a lot longer than him. It does seem fairly obvious it's setting up for a CM Punk heel turn, though. I mean, the way he telegraphed that he wasn't going to lose to Dusty's Kid, and then he immediately gets thrown out, his constantly looking up at the sign, I think those signs are all there for him to do a heel turn. I don't think he's been a heel in wrestling since before he left 10 years ago. So I think it's going to be interesting to see after all of the hype and the mythology of CM Punk has grown for so long, and then his time in AEW and him coming back here to all this fanfare, how is he going to be responded to? I mean, he's a great heel historically, so I don't doubt that he's going to take that ball and run with it fairly well. But I think that, it lends itself to some interesting story paths going forth with him. And even though I didn't expect it to happen, I still think it's cool for Cody to have won the Rumble again. We haven't had any, back-to-back winners in forever. And so for him to do that, I think is really special. For it to happen in this area where they keep talking about how it's Dusty Rhodes country and all that, I think that's a very special moment as well. So and him going after Roman Reigns to finish the story, whatnot, that just kind of sells itself. That's kind of what people have been expecting to happen for ever since last year. And I think that, that's what they're going to going toward here. Will The Rock play a role in that matchup? who's to say? I mean, are they going to really build to something for Rock and Roman the following year, a la Rock and Cena at 27? That's a possibility. But I think that, this was, it was a strong Rumble match for sure. And I think that if Punk was not going to win it, then I think Cody is the right call. My final grade for this year's Rumble PLE is a solid B. I think that it was a good Rumble event. I wouldn't call it a great one, though, because I think these Rumble matches were fine, they were strong, but then I think that the other non-Rumble matches just kind of weighed it down for me. They were okay, but they were like foregone conclusions. You kind of knew what you were getting into with that one. And again, I give the Women's Rumble the edge over which one I had more fun watching, but I think they both had a lot of really positive takeaways and can really both lead to a lot of interesting storylines going into Mania. Then there was the press conference that took place after the show, and in the wake of the Vince McMahon lawsuit, certainly a lot of eyes were on this and how, say, Triple H was going to respond. I don't think his responses were the best. Now, I don't know what he could have said that would have satisfied everybody, but there had to be better responses in the chamber for him than saying, we've had an amazing week. I'm going to focus on the positives, not the negatives. And, we're going to do everything possible to make, WWE a safe place for workers. You might as well have said, we're going to do nothing at all, because it means the same thing to me. He said when he was asked about it, he did not read the lawsuit, which either seems like a lie or it's a play on words, where it's like maybe somebody, like legal counsel, informed him of, briefed him on what's in the lawsuit. But the fact that I cannot believe that Triple H would not have read that lawsuit, considering, he may very well be implicated in it. Some people say that he is executive number one in the lawsuit. It just, I know he's a busy guy and everything, but man, this feels like something you need to do your homework on. And I just felt those answers, like I said, there's not much he could have said that I think would have made everyone happy. There's not much he could legally say, but I mean, there had to have been a better way to form those answers, because it just came off very callous. Oh, we've had an amazing week. No, you fucking haven't. There's this dark cloud that could risk enveloping everything. Like Tony Khan's answers at the World's End scrum about the Chris Jericho thing. Those weren't great either, but I think he was at least very consistent in his message. But to be fair though, at least Triple H wasn't wearing a silly hat when he said these things, so fair play to him. It's just the whole idea of, oh, we're going to focus on the positives. It's over now. We're going to do everything possible to move on and everything. Vince McMahon leaving is a good first step, but that's not it. That's not the end. Slim Jim pulling their sponsorship and coming back once Vince was gone, it's a big symbolic gesture, but you're not done yet. I mentioned in my video about Vince's resignation, it's not just Vince. It cannot be just Vince. There has to be a network of people who aided and abetted this. And, I really doubt Vince McMahon is going to be the only domino falling in this thing. And I don't know where it's going to go, but we're going to have to see how that story finishes. And speaking of which, how is it that the non-executive Cody Rhodes had a better answer about this question than Triple H did? You got to give all the credit in the world to Brandon Thurston and John Alba and Seahawk for asking those hard questions. In these big press events, it's easy to kind of focus on fluff and not ask questions like that for fear of losing access, I guess. But good on them for asking those questions. I think people should continue to ask those questions because, like I said, this is very much a developing story, and we're just gonna have to wait and see, where all those cards drop. But what did you think of this year's Rumble event? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to Wrestling with Regret. Hit that bell icon for all the notifications. I'm Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.